The Honourable Shane Jones. Tenakwe, Mr Jones.
Sir, we rise to support this bill, and I intend to take the entire 10 minutes in traversing why this bill should be supported, unlike the earlier speaker. And for those of you who may have wondered who that was, that is an obscure backbencher from the National Party who did not explain why this bill has been languishing, yet he and a host of other speakers have accentuated that the bill represents us defending our reputation in the eyes of international investigators, in the eyes of international regulators, that we maintain our high-quality reputation in terms of, sir, transparency. Now, I'm the first to agree, sir, that those of us who have had some experience in business should treasure the reputation we have, and confirmed by the World Bank that we are one of the easiest, if not the easiest, of countries to start a business. Indeed, last year, sir, as I listened to a CIRA presentation of people going to Christchurch, it was evident they were having visitors come from the Middle East, from Asia, North America and Europe. And one of the people at CIRA told me that what greeted what they couldn't get over was that as these international analysts, investors came into New Zealand and looked for opportunities in and around Christchurch, that they marvelled at the ease at which you could start a business in New Zealand. And I think, sir, that's something we should treasure. I don't think, sir, that there's much disunity between the two major parties on that question, and I'd like to think that it's something we continue to uphold. And it's disappointing, sir, that nefarious interests, perhaps tied up with the drug monies, perhaps tied up with moving around ill-gotten gains, etc., in and out of New Zealand, or, for example, the case of an American promoter of a Ponzi scheme about to face 15 to 25 years of jail, exploited a loophole and was able to contribute in a degrading way to the erosion of our commercial reputation, and that needs to be stamped out. But I'd like it said, sir, at the broad and at the base level, I'm in agreement, I think, with the majority of the members of the House. Ease of business is something that we should celebrate. Transparency, it's an ongoing hassle, sir. In the interests of transparency, I know a bit about that, having suffered an Auditor General report into an immigration decision I made. So I've been at the sharp end of what's expected of a public official in respect of transparency, adherence to process. So that's why, sir, we do support this particular bill. But as is the wont of opposition politicians, there are aspects, sir, that we can find that could be remedied, not the least of which is why the bill has languished at the bottom of the order paper for so long. Now, sir, I'm not suggesting it's reflective of the pecking order that exists on that side of the House and the rather diminished status of Craig Foss. I mean, Craig Foss came into politics when I came in. He holds the seat of Tuki Tuki, which, as I've told you prior to earlier times, means to beat. So I actually have got quite a lot of time for Craig Foss, but I do think that his stewardship of this particular bill is perhaps reflective of the ebbing fortunes that Craig Foss is suffering. And, sir, we need look no further, sir, than the languishing nature of the economy, investors, punters, garden variety kiwis in Hawke's Bay. And I'd like to think, sir, that Mr Foss dedicates a small degree of his precious time to improving the fortunes in that area, because they are, sir, bleak. And if you have any doubt, sir, just look at the information that we amassed and the glorious number of new members when the newest parliamentarian from that part of the motu, from Heretaunga, via Ikaroa Rahuiti, came to the House and has unveiled the fact that there is a great deal of pain, a great deal of squandered talent, missed opportunities, and really, sir, like other parts of provincial New Zealand, that area is the economic orphan child of the current government. Now, I'm sure, sir, the minister responsible for this bill is not totally at fault in that regard. The other part of the fault is probably with Mr Tremaine. But, sir, unfortunately, that would take me somewhat beyond the guts or the purview of this bill, but it should be said that on this side of the House, I think a prod now and again to the responsible minister to remind them that it is essential they remain not aloof, but directly engaged in promoting pieces of legislation of this nature. So this bill, amongst other things, enables regulators, sir, to flag companies that could be under investigation. Now, sir, there could be a host of reasons as to why that might happen, and I think in the context of improved trans-Tasman business relations and as the growth, sir, of investment opportunities over time, certainly when this side of the House gets over there, I'm sure they'll grow exponentially. It's important that people have a high level of confidence that an institution they might be buying into, sir, an institution they might be forming a relationship with, actually is regulated in such a way there are limited opportunities for mischief makers or people, sir, who might use companies to actually ruin the prospects of shareholders. So the bill also extends this level of vigilance to the Limited Partnerships Act through a host of changes so that folk who are of a mind to misuse our companies, sir, don't also move into infecting that particular regime. Sir, it also seeks to better align the Companies Act with the Takeovers Code and to ensure that shareholders understand the effect that changes in company control will have on the value of their shares. So I only hope that the owners of Mighty River Power are apprised of what lies in front of that company. Anyone who owns a company, sir, or who is a shareholder in a company needs to maintain vigilance as to the statutory or regulatory framework within which a company is operating. And that, sir, is one company that is going to have to learn to live with a new norm. And that norm, sir, are the changes, the policy reforms, the moderation and the improvements that we will be bringing to the power sector. And in that sense, sir, shareholders need to be confident that when they invest in these vessels, when they invest in a company, they are shareholders. But, sir, when the citizens of the nation require or demand an improvement in the behaviour of a company, the interests of shareholders have to be, sir, measured against the interests of the citizenry. And in a democracy, sir, we by and large rely on citizens to make conclusive decisions about the distribution or the exercise of power. We rely on shareholders, sir, to drive directors and the executive to generate wealth. There is a clear distinction between the interests of the citizenry and the interests of shareholders. So this is designed to give more confidence, sir, to the interests of shareholders, but be under no doubt any company operating, sir, in the area of the power sector needs to bear in mind that this party is there to ensure that consumers and the broader citizenry do not, sir, have their fortunes held to ransom by, sir, rapacious, ill-informed, or dangerously, sir, driven executives hoping, sir, to continue to grow their own personal wealth by dint of their remuneration at the cost of growing and gouging, sir, cost behaviour from such companies. Now, sir, that's slightly different from the range, sir, of duties that a director has to observe. They're well established, sir, in terms of good practice and good law, but this is designed, sir, to enable the companies, sir, the registrar of companies, should I say, or formerly in popular parlance known as the Companies Office, to, sir, root out bad apples and ensure that companies being exploited or, sir, abused by overseas interests, and there will from time to time potentially be New Zealand interests that fall into that trap. Although I dare say, sir, the ardour for bending companies' rules, etc., has been brought to heel with the large number of people facing either jail time or, sir, time being virtually incarcerated in their houses. And that's an improvement, sir, which is reflective of the greater awareness, the resources amongst those regulators who have those punitive powers. So, sir, we support this bill. Naturally, we don't completely support the faltering stewardship that lies behind the bill, but being parliamentarians upholding, sir, the qualities of democracy and the stature of the House on this occasion, we'll support the bill. Thank you very much.
I call the honourable member Mark Mitchell.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It's a pleasure to take a